to like 167, and then I just played with like a $2 risk, and I tried to get it to 180. So yeah, it's kind of another reason why I'm not super bullish right now is we're already at our expected move. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Engineering the Markets. My name is Jared. It is February 2nd, 2023. Happy Thursday to everyone. And of course, as we are kind of rounding out the rest of the week, we have a couple of notes from yesterday. We have earnings coming up this afternoon in regards to our mega market caps. A lot of bigger 500 companies starting to report, and probably the most impactful name, Apple, along with Amazon and Alphabet, just kind of rounding out the pack. So I would say once we get past these particular names, things will kind of start to settle in a little bit more. We'll still have earnings, but the types of companies and impact to the S&P will be less volatile, and therefore we could kind of focus more on the sector or the particular stock as opposed to the overall impact to the S&P. Yesterday, of course, was also the FOMC statement and press conference. We saw that the projected 25-point rate hike was indeed true. And then into our press conference, we saw a fairly, wouldn't say hawkish or dovish, but one thing I was kind of claiming yesterday is maybe a nimble Federal Chair Jerome Powell. There's discussion on future rate hikes. Quoted, there would be a few additional rate hikes. The projection was that a lot of data-driven decisions were going to be made. And overall, I thought that the tone was not necessarily bullish, but the market certainly felt sort of exuberance and a little bit of relief coming into that session. So S&Ps, of course, rallied quite strong into yesterday's trade. One of the inflection points that I thought was kind of interesting is as we were getting into the actual statement, we can kind of look on a 5-minute here. You'll notice that most of the reactionary highs and lows are based around the close from Friday. And this is what I perceived would be the gravity point and sort of the bullish or bearish line in the sand for yesterday's trade, simply because most of the week we've been trading around this price. So, if we look at a weekly candle, we could see that we're now starting to really advance away from last week's trade. And that, of course, was facilitated through the press conference as opposed to the actual statement. So most of the morning actually provided a little bit of a pretty decent trade opportunity. It wasn't as tight ranged as I expected, which is good because, there were some opportunities to take advantage of prior to the FOMC. So the question now is, what's left? I think for today, I'm certainly scouting a little bit of a fade or a pullback, not necessarily super bullish at these levels, but willing to have the bulls, provide momentum, not really willing to scout the high, but certainly looking for it, especially if we start to pull back in early in the session. Obviously our daily uptrend is still intact. And more importantly, we're kind of getting close to our weekly expected move. Hence, if I am going to be scouting a high, I'd be starting to look around the 41.65 SPX levels, or something equivalent in the SPY around 415 would be the ideal, top area to scout. So, just to kind of reiterate, we have a lot of expected move range this week. Bulls sort of have the trend, and so far they have the expansion to the upside. But remember, this is kind of what the week expects. So we're starting to run out of room to the upside if we do see sort of a top forming. And then we'll certainly be just looking to kind of settle in somewhere around 4,100 and 410 SPY would be an ideal stopping point for the week. Of course, we're also looking at some characteristic trend changes. And these are ones that we'll kind of know for sure once we close out this week. But the argument here is that we're looking at a potential weekly trend. And this is essentially the first weekly high that has come from a weekly higher low. Arguably, there's been some inside trade. You could sort of claim that this is a weekly uptrend, but I do like to see actual price consolidation versus a inside pullback, and that kind of structures the trend a little bit more decisively. A lot of people, of course, were looking for this to take effect, and even myself, I kind of claim that this would be the first time the trend line doesn't really work in the same way that we saw last year. That rejection that we saw a couple of weeks ago was a pretty sharp sort of sell, and it was where it was supposed to be as far as the moving averages and the overall trend line. But we're seeing that fight back, and price is still advancing for the time being. So as I mentioned, there's a wider range concept as well. We're going to see if that kind of plays out over the next couple of weeks. Remember that range risk right now still exists at about 430 S&P. And this is where a much larger trading range might be starting to form. Just in the overall market, it's quite volatile and of course very wide for opportunity, but that is also true for continued upside if we push out in this region. So definitely interesting trend changes, lots of structural and character changes starting to take place. We'll want to see the close, of course. The weekly close would be the ideal quote unquote confirmation. And then a new high would certainly bring us into that range high at around 430. So a couple of steps left to kind of finish out this move if that is going to be the last leg of this advance. Now, what do we have on deck today? Pretty much everyone's talking about some of the the interesting price activity in Meta. Meta did have a fairly strong earnings report, although the suggested EPS wouldn't indicate that. A lot of it was based on some of the outlook and some of the advancements that were being done in regards to metaverse space, and also a little bit of the AI sort of hype discussion that's going on right now. A lot of those were perceived pretty well, and for the most part, this rally started on the actual numbers report, so the release of earnings, and not so much the conference. Conference so far has kept things kind of elevated, and we're not seeing any pullback as of yet. But technicals are potentially suggesting a little bit of risk up here. You'll note that there are some swing highs back in July and August that come in at about 183.85, or arguably, if you want the connection, in August, that high was 183.10. So given that we're trading in this region, it'd be good to mark this area. It coincides with our pre-market highs pretty well. And once again, if we do see some selling, just kind of be aware there's a lot of room for that pullback. We're talking, anywhere from like a $5 to $10 pullback would be relatively healthy given the size of this move. But if not, and it stays elevated, remember this is also an expected move breach. The thing that's interesting about these is these are relatively rare. They don't necessarily happen every earnings. The earnings market and the option market predicted about $13 to $14 expected move. We closed at 153. A 152.5 straddle was priced at about 14 as of yesterday, right at the close, which means for the most part, a lot of the market was expecting somewhere around 167.5 or 170 kind of as a max for the move to the upside. You'll note that we're at 183. So essentially we've doubled this expectation. And while this is relatively rare in terms of statistical probability, it's also true that because of its anomalous behavior, it can actually provide additional upside. One of the names that kind of reminds me of this type of reaction is, of course, Netflix. Not necessarily on the most recent earnings, but this particular reaction. Just the fact that it's so extreme means that there's a little bit of a price behavior that could take place as we enter into the open, and essentially a little bit of market maker hedging, along with the fact that a lot of participants are wrong. Any bear or any sort of short position in Meta is clearly underwater, based around the past 6 months, 6 to 7 months. So some of those characteristics can kind of fuel an additional leg to the upside. Just be careful with how the price activity behaves. Usually it's a little anomalous, and oftentimes it's quite extreme if that were to happen. The contrarian, I think in a lot of us as traders might want to think that this is going to pull back. And it's at a good price level to pull back. There's no arguing that from a technical sense. But if it doesn't, that's kind of where the extremity of this move can actually be exacerbated. It can be to the point where, because we're trading at 183, 185, another $15 move would simply be a 3x expected move, or a 3 sigma deviation from what the earnings would suggest, earnings option play. So be careful on this one. It's obviously in play, definitely keep it on watch. And as far as the S&P is concerned, it's not like this one is, trying to get my phase studies back. That didn't do it. There we go. The market cap, I believe this is updated now. I think this updates even in post-market, but we should be seeing Meta's market cap significantly higher. Doesn't mean it's sort of reclaimed its throne in the top, like top 10 of the S&P, but it definitely, proved something on yesterday's earnings, so long as it stays elevated at those levels. Let me see what sort of a standing Meta has in the S&P these days. Yeah, so we're still looking at like top 14 right now. The market cap change is going to be a big impact for its holding listing, especially when rebalancing comes around. But all in all, Meta lost a lot of market cap last year, and therefore it doesn't quite have the same feel to the S&P as it used to. It definitely isn't a mover and a shaker like it used to be. So just something to remember. But the volatility here is what's important. Meta can easily give back quite a bit, or if it's going to be significantly extreme to the upside, that would be where we saw that sort of 3x standard deviation move. So that's Meta in a nutshell. We saw dollar weakness yesterday on the announcement. That was kind of one of the confirmations for bulls to see the dollar break into a fresh low, especially as we were seeing the conference start. 5 minutes after the conference started, the dollar broke its session low and then essentially sold off the rest of the day. Dollar weakness typically is providing equity strength at the time. I'm still a bit wary of where the dollar is priced. The fact that we're not really seeing any sort of significant counter trend move is surprising. But, following the trend often is the advantage of these types of events. I'm just kind of wary of where we are. And once again, if we do see dollar sort of change character a little bit or just hold a relative low, equities might have a deeper pullback than what we've been seeing. So continue to keep this on watch. We're just not really seeing it quite yet. I'll be looking in these regions for a relative low to be set. So that's the dollar. Gold and silver saw strength in the dollar. That's kind of been the theme this past couple of months. Trying to think what else. This one's interesting too. I find this one, as another confirmation here. Remember when we talk about high yield corporate debt, it's often a little bit of a leading indicator. And anytime there's strength here, I usually trust that the equity move is going to be sustained. So this has been one that trades very similar to the S&P. It's got some relative areas of interest. You could even argue that the range concept is still true in this particular product. You'll notice the June low, the October sort of fear lows that really didn't have a ton of follow through, and then the retest back in December, of the June lows. This is all shaping up from a high level, very similar to how the S&P is trading. And, similar to the S&P, if this turns into a much larger trading range in the future, there's still a lot of room to the upside. So it means that unless we see something change in this price region, there's a lot of upside risk all the way to, in this case, about 79.32 on HYG. If this continues to rally, I would trust for now the S&P rally to be sustained. Pullbacks here need to be sort of sustained on a trend line, but because we're getting out of a price region, momentum can shift. Where the pullbacks are bought or the type of pullbacks, more flag style momentum pullbacks are going to be more likely. It's just an undefended region. There's not really a relative high that we're seeing trade occur against. So this is kind of the risk to reward of the market right now. Feels very risk on. Be careful if anything changes in this region. A trap could occur essentially at any time, but if this continues, also remember that there's not really a lot of resistance on both the S&P and, in this case, a more leading risk on indicator like HYG. So I like to use these as kind of confirm and deny signals. Yesterday, this did rally, but it also didn't really get over this area. So I'm just kind of paying attention here. I want to see that weekly candle get outside, and that'll be a really good signal that we're done trading in this price region, and we probably want to move higher. So that's pretty much all I've got. So it is Thursday. I only left about 10 minutes, but if y'all do have any questions, let me know, and we can take a look at them. Tesla. Kind of figured that would be the first one. Okay. So Strong move yesterday. We did punch outside of a relative high that was set last week. Similar to the market, we're breaching, but we're not necessarily fully away at the moment. So want to be careful of a pullback inside. Simplest thing you could kind of see here is if we draw down, the pullback could be 180, and that would be very healthy. If we continue, I'd be looking at the spread. The way this stock trades right now is I have to assume this pullback was the lowest it was going to go before the new high continues. And measuring from some of these extensions, that means that there's a lot of upside potential, even if it's the same size. This pullback here, 180 to 162, price wise, I would say 180 expanded would be 200 plus. So that would be the sort of bullish case. But on the short term, what can happen before that is we could pull in. And the thing that I noticed yesterday is it already kind of did. It retested, or it back tested the high from last week, and then it advanced. So the bulls kind of have it for now, but be wary if they kind of collapse today. This would be your target, at least in the short term. Looks like a healthy chart. It's just they're pushing it quite a bit. So Apple's about to report earnings. So trade activity today, to me, if the bulls have it today, go for 150. That's typically where Apple likes to run. And what we're seeing right now is, they stopped selling at 125. They just grinded their way up to this trend line. If they want to keep pushing a little bit more, 150. Apple's expected move this earnings. Whoa. Apple has daily options right now? No, this is SPY. I was freaking out. I was like, I didn't know that Apple opened that, but I was on the wrong ticker. Apple's expected move is a 550 right now. So, playing around in the option market, and I have a feeling 150 is kind of heavy. Yeah, there's like 37,000 calls still open right here. Barring the market selling, the bulls have a lot going for them. So if they just kind of grind to the upside, I'd say 150 would be close to where they want to go. They could kind of just drift to 150. But earnings, anything can kind of happen there. Meta for sure has put a little bit of not necessarily fear, but you think about how Meta reacted, and then if you're trading Apple, you start to think what happens if Apple breaches its expected move to the upside. So there might be like a little bit of fear going into Apple as a bear or as a short. So, that could be a little bit of fuel to the upside today, probably 150. So Amazon, 7.5 expected move. We're trading at 105. The Amazon extension that we're going for is up here. So Amazon's pretty easy. If it starts entering into the gap, barring this high-low pivot, which was not really doing anything except for yesterday, it's where we closed. If Amazon pushes, I'd go for close to a gap fill. That's not out of the question for a $4 move yesterday. If it doesn't, I probably wouldn't touch it, to be honest, because once again, the market would have to be bearish today for this to really draw down. And it seems as if there's a little bit of fear for the shorts into these earnings because of Meta. Meta kind of set a little bit of a standard. and that could kind of fall in place with Amazon. What's it? It's trading at 109 right now. Never mind. I'm sorry. The pre-markets are crazy right now. Okay, 110. Yeah. So what would I do with it right now? Probably nothing. It already filled the gap. Whatever the close is, 110.96. You could try shorting against the gap, but I wouldn't be long. It did exactly what we thought it was going to do, which is fill the gap. So, let's see. Where can I find the old BBT videos? They're in the Trading Terminal Academy under the free education center that was moved over. That's where all the videos kind of went to. How do options OI levels and volume can be reflected on the actual underlying stock price? Think of high OI as high value. The market makers want to transact where there are participants. High OI means that there are participants in the market, so they want to go there. So think of them as gravity points. They're usually targets / pullback areas, depending on if you're above or below them, you know, running into them or coming into them. So it's all about value. You know, where does the market want to transact? High OI is high transactional value. It's the same as having like a big ask or a big bid, but it's in the option market. So okay, on YouTube we got Carvana. What's up with Carvana? Looks like it's rallying. So, you know, what's going on here? We've seen some strong rallies off of highly shorted stocks. Anything that's providing a little bit of a character change, like a trend change on the short terms, are starting to fuel big momentum pushes. Barring that, that's kind of what I like to play. You know, the technicals suggest that once you change trends, think about everybody before this who was bearish. You know, there's a lot of bears in this stock who are short, and similar to these moves, even though this is earnings driven, you can have big extensions once you change trends. There's a 207% rally here. You know, the lowest low to where we are now, 300%. So it's not to say that there's a big shift in the company or anything, but bulls and bears want to make money. So a bear who sees the price changing will start to cover out. And it's usually when trends on the price or trends in momentum start to change. You know, the bigger signals for me are things like crosses or getting over a moving average, a very core moving average. So once that happens, you just kind of ride that momentum if you're long, or you ignore it. You know, these are very risky stocks regardless of what's happening. So high risk, high reward. Can you comment about UNG? Pretty much everyone and their mother wants to find the bottom of natural gas. The thing about it is there is no clear indication of that low yet, except for the volume readings. What's starting to happen here is we're starting to get capitulation volume. Very interesting if we can see a reversal candle. So we saw some of this a couple days ago. It was in this region. There was a high volume event. It didn't mark the low. This is capitulation style volume. And when you see it at the end of trends and then a reversal, that usually signals like a big change, a big bounce is coming. You know, the type of volume we're getting down here is massive. So I'd be on the lookout for it. But remember, from a price perspective, it's really hard to know if I can trust a low without a reversal signal. So unless you're like, you know, kind of scaling in a little bit or using options, it's going to be hard to tell whether it bottomed. The volume is suggesting it, but we're not seeing the price signal yet. So keep an eye out for it. It could be coming, but good luck trying to catch these. And the steepness of this decline is what's scary. You don't want to be first. You just want to be watching. I think it's coming. Um, I do have a price level here that I'm quite interested in. I don't know why the chart's so weird. Yeah. So it's a relative low over here. Okay, well, I think that's good for now. Running out of time. So thanks, everybody. Trade safe today. Have a wonderful rest of the week. We'll talk more next week. And as always, stay tuned for pre-market prep. And we appreciate some of the feedback we're getting from the latest and new option chat room. So much obliged and appreciate everything that y'all are giving back to us. So trade safe. We'll talk more then.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to PreMarket Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today? All right. I think Norm's probably still connecting. All right. We'll give him a second here. Um, Guys, let's take a look at the stuff we had yesterday. But first, before we get to that, guys, big thumbs up for Jared engineering the markets every single Monday through Thursday. So let's give him a big shout out there. Um, and yeah, man, it's great information as we're preparing every morning at 8 a.m. So here it is, guys. We have the stuff I had on my list yesterday. I had Baba, I had AI, I had which look at AI continues to just destroy here. I had AMD, Tesla, and Amazon. And if you were quickly looking at every daily candle on here, I mean, you could have really watched anything, and you would have done well if you were somewhat bullish on this thing. I mean, it was just that type of day. Again, even Tesla, AMD, everything on here had an incredible day. Especially, we're not gonna go through every single one of them because the price action is pretty much all the same. I mean, the SPY just took over, the markets just took over and just pushed everything higher. So, AMD was a great one that popped up here and just trended the entire day. A little slow throughout the mid point here, but after that, it just took off, guys, and it was incredible. So, hold on a second. Let me mute my other computer here. Making some noise. Everything is ringing today. Let me mute the phone. What's going on? There we go. All right. So here we are, guys. Again, just a really, really nice bullish day, all provided by this guy right here. The overall market just going insane. So big day today, guys. Tons of earnings. Our gappers list is looking pretty nice as well. If we look at it this morning, tons of stuff in the green. Obviously, Spies is feeling a little bullish today. A lot of stuff on here within that 4, 3, and 2%. With some volume. So today already, this gap list is huge. It's not even 8. It's not even 9 o'clock yet. Given how bullish the market is feeling right now, not so much in the red. We'll dive into what's causing these guys not to be part of the pack. Well, I know what's causing MSGM, which is, did you guys see the drop before the pre-market on this thing? If you missed it, we'll show it to you in just a second. Hey, good morning, Norm. It was
good morning, brother.
It was you know what show, man. It's you know what
it
show.
Dropped from 60 something bucks to 20 in about 2 seconds.
This is why
50 bucks.
Yeah,
something in there. It was ridiculous.
And this is the 5 minute. Let me show you the 1 minute, so you're not confused on how fast this thing happened. Look at this, 60 to 28.27, give or take. I mean, no volatility hold. You just got, this is not a rug pull. This is like you're faced against the concrete at a car that's going 60 miles per hour. That's what that is. It's brutal. It's brutal, guys. Sorry for the graphical
That's rough.
image early this morning, but it is that bad. So this is why someone, Jay, no, not someone, blew their account. Many people blew their account here yesterday. And the worst part about it is many people that are great traders, right, that were doing just fine and say, oh, wow, this could keep going to another, 20, 30 bucks. If I buy 1,000 shares, I can make this and make a killing and grow my account, are now suffering big time, right? So it's, just got to be very, very careful. Just stay away from it. Don't trade this stuff. Do not trade this stuff, right? All right, let's get to some of the stuff happening today, guys. Big earnings day today. What else is on the list for the market today, Norm?
I apologize, man. It's been a little bit of a crazy night. My power went off in the middle of the night, which, we've had ice storms down here. Power was off for a couple of hours. Caused my alarm system backup battery to die off, and that's why I was a minute late getting on. I apologize.
Yeah. No worries, man.
8:30, we've got initial jobless claims, continuing claims, productivity, and unit labor costs. I missed those numbers, but we are up still from yesterday and the action taken, so they shouldn't really have too much bearing on what's going on. Actually, I'm sorry, I have that 183,000 initial jobless claims versus 195 expected. So a little bit light there, 1.66 million continuing claims, just a tick down from last month. Productivity's up, unit labor costs down. All pretty good news in reality. We've got a huge gappers list. We obviously have earnings, really not a whole lot of exciting earnings that I've seen this morning. But we've got plenty in play, that's for sure.
Yeah, plenty in play. And the big earnings will be tonight after hours. With the big guys reporting. Who we have? We have Google, we have Apple, we have Amazon, and I like Starbucks. I know it's not a great intraday trader, but it does trade well during earnings. So Starbucks on that list as well. If they haven't reported already, I don't recall if Starbucks was tonight or
Starbucks is tonight.
It's tonight. Okay, yeah. So I do like them for earning play. So we'll see what happens. But overall, as you said, Norm, a lot happening already this morning. We don't even need those guys to report to get the volatility that we're getting right now. So Control A, Control X removes our watch list here. And let's see what we have. GNS, this garbage keeps coming up here, and it's just not worth it. And we got much, much better things to look at. Let's head on down to Carvana, another one that's actually, man, is this memeing, or do we have some news? I want to hopefully news. If it's memeing, it's not too fun.
Well, it's memeing whether there's news or not. I don't see anything specific as of this morning, so memes.
Wow. Definitely got something going here. So again, getting pushed up here, guys. The short interest on this thing is almost 60%.
Yeah.
So this is an
Very
example of
high.
something getting squeezed right here, right? This is a squeeze happening at the moment. So from 10 to 14 yesterday, today already at 18, up 35%, 7 million shares traded. And actually, the pre-market action does look interesting. It could be a good one, for scalping. That's probably the best thing you could do here. We'll put it as a possible because it is in play today. One of our meme tickers pushing nicely here. All right, Meta, guys, what an incredible day this day had
Ridiculous,
yesterday. What was it? $30 a pop plus. I mean,
It was huge.
insane. So today here we're up 20% at the moment. 2.9 million shares traded. This will be an interesting one on how it's going to react at the market open. Right now, doesn't look great. It looks like crap, really, just going sideways. People trying to figure out, hey, are we dropping here? Are we going to continue on this massive 20% up? Yeah. So I like Meta today, but I am aware that this can trade choppy at the market open. So be mindful of that. It'll be a good one to probably let settle in if we're not seeing a clear direction right out of the gates here. SI this morning, what do we have here? No, this is no good. We've seen this plenty of time. AMC also trying to meme a little bit here, but I think Carvana is the one with the actual juice this morning. So again, you could be on the lookout for this one if you'd like, but I prefer Carvana for this type of meme type trades because it has more volume, higher price, and looking pretty good pre-market. So we'll skip on that one. UPST, we've seen this plenty of time on our list. It's a hit or miss. I more often than not, it's not a great trader. And a day like today where we have 50 tickers on our gap up list, which we're not going to go through all of them. We'll do a few more, then we'll hand it off to you guys because great thing about being with a community is that you guys probably looked at some of this already and can throw some stuff out that actually looks good based on what we're looking to do here. So UPST, definitely not a chance today. Pins and another ticker earnings. Or what's going on with these guys? Why are they gapping up 5.4? Actually, not earnings. Earnings is next week, it looks like. Is it probably all Meta stuff, right? Social media type play, maybe?
They announced layoffs yesterday. It
Oh,
probably has a big chunk to do with it. Yeah.
that's the key word. You use layoff on your any type of news announcements and you're gapping up. So
Yep.
not a big fan of this one, guys. So yeah, it's very choppy ticker, light volume. I don't think today we need to settle for mediocre stocks. All right, we'll stop here. And I'll hand it off to you guys to see what we're looking at. But first, let's look at this stuff that's gapping down. We already looked at MSGM, which is garbage. We're not even going to play with this thing. Vera, VERA, this is not much volume, down 17%.
Biotech on a secondary, so not the greatest of all time. Catalyst.
Yeah, not a good one. HON, man, what is
That's
the spread on this thing? This is
Honeywell
ugly.
Industrial, very, very not good trader. So
Yeah. So
there's
stay away
plenty
from
of good
that one.
stuff out here. You don't have to dig and scrape the bottom of the barrel for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Norm, I know you're running a little bit behind with everything going on. Do you have anything that you like this morning?
Tesla, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Somebody's going to throw that out. But yeah, that's definitely a good one.
Look at Tesla here, guys. Just continuing to take off here at 186 now. From the most recent lows of 102, 101, this thing has
Remember
just
that
been
big
on
red day
fire.
Tesla had, 3 days ago, and it's all gone?
Yeah, wiped it off yesterday and the day before.
In a few minutes yesterday, actually.
Yeah. It's unreal, man. This thing is really strong. What I like about it is if you look at the daily, we dropped here, we came back to 180, and now we're pushing higher, looking to get, stay above this support area. So yeah, Tesla, guys, on fire. And on top of that, it's been giving us so many great opportunities as far as intraday trading. If you look at the action, it's been one of the cleaner stocks to watch, even better than like an Apple and AMD at times. It's been just extremely clean. And I have to say, though, now that we're watching a little bit more, the pullbacks in the price action are not as aggressive as they were like 2 weeks ago. So it seems a little more manageable now when it comes to taking trades, even in the pre-market. So this thing is amazing, man. Doing really, really good. Definitely on our list. Right, Rafsila? Right? It's been a little more manageable because before these pullbacks will wipe you out of your stop loss. So it's been a little more easier to manage. Okay, excellent. Let's take a look here. I think I added City by accident, maybe. Yes, I definitely added Citigroup by accident. Yeah, that's definitely not on our list. Thank you. We'll take that out of there. All right, guys, let's take it to both chats over on YouTube and also in our members tab. What do you guys like this morning? There's a lot on here. So let's try to pick the best of the best, knowing that we can and won't be able to watch everything that on a regular day will be in play. Here's AMD, man. AMD yesterday, guys. I mean, just this run, this massive takeoff above their area of resistance here. Just nice. Gapped up and then just took off. So yeah, I think AMD today will be exciting, especially after such a move yesterday after a gap up. So put AMD on there, 815,000, which is a little bit higher on the price on the volume. So that's good. Google, let's take a look here. Will definitely be in play tomorrow. Today, how are they looking this morning? Again, they're a hit or miss. Yeah, they're
Yeah, they're
gapping up
tough to trade, man.
5%. They are. They are. Like in Amazon and AMD and Nvidia are going to trade better than this thing. So, yeah, they're gapping up today. If you like this one, you can watch it. We have options, so I'm gonna pick to watch something else other than Google, but like an Amazon, right? Like an Amazon and Vinny. I'm probably going to watch an Amazon today. I have better hopes of this one trading better. Trades a lot more volume. The price action is clean. 2 million shares traded so far. So, yeah, I like Amazon as one of our possibles for today. All right, Jared short Meta, risking slightly below 183. Nice, nice. All right, so that's good. Amazon and Google. That what else we have, guys? Amazon AC75 over on YouTube. Thank you, Natharion. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that correctly. You were giving us Lucid, Lucid this morning. Um, it's got volume. It's got 907,000 here. Had a crazy day a couple of days ago, about a week ago here. 9 to 18. I don't recall what the news was here. Um, it could be a hit or miss,
That was
man.
investment by Saudis. Rumors of a
Oh, yeah.
takeover.
Yeah, yeah. So has any more if any more news comes out on this could be
I haven't heard
exciting.
anything.
Yeah, but until
Nothing
then,
too
it just
interesting.
might go sideways, you know? So I don't know. Be careful with it. Again, today I think I'm gonna go with something else, but I do like the volume you're getting here. I think you just got to keep your ears open, guys, for any news that breaks out on this thing. When it does, it's gonna be hard to react to it because the computers get it first. They're much faster. But I think that's gonna be an interesting thing. Whether it's a go or a no, this thing will actually react from here. You guys, we went through this with Twitter. You guys remember that? It popped up and it was an interest and it was up and down. No, it's
Mm,
not happening. It's
I
not
would say
happening.
Twitter's a vastly different deal, but I agree. I
Yeah,
think it'll probably be sideways unless something comes out on it.
right,
I don't
right.
know that any human being is fast enough to act on it. If something like that happens, markets pop into highs, by the way.
Yeah. So I think you're just gonna get a lot of volume on this thing and no direction. Again, just my opinion might not be correct, but I'm gonna watch something else that's most likely is gonna be doing what this guy's doing right here. So we'll see. Let's see what Mara and Coin are doing. Something different than our usual suspects. Mara, no good. Pushing volume around, but not really doing anything. Coin is a preferable one for me to trade. A decent day yesterday, just doesn't have the volume right now. Now, this could do well if the market continues to push higher, right? Coin tends to do that. So if you do like this one, you can add it to your list. But I tell you, my list right now: Meta, Tesla, AMD, and Amazon. I'm happy with this four already.
Yeah.
But we will look at anything else. But I'm really happy with that group that I have there. George, AI was wild yesterday, and yeah, AI is interesting, and actually did continue to push higher here. They're gapping up again. So yeah, might be worth watching this one. More of a possible, I think. But yeah, it's worth having on the list here. Just great to see what they've done in the last couple of days. Shopify, you guys know how I feel about that today. It's probably not the day where everything else, although they're daily, man. This daily is so interesting here, especially this gap down. I mean, they went from 50 to 41, managed to quickly in a few days get back to 50, and now are gapping up. So whatever's going on there is treating them well. It's just the guts of this thing, right? The intraday action are just it's just so bad for me. So that's the reason why I'm keeping it off the list. But if you are able to manage your trading with that, go for it. All right, guys, let's stop here. Let's go look at some of the community events and announcements happening this week. There's so much you could look at. I know this list is huge, and I only have a six on my list with two possibles. But I think that's all you really need. I think we're gonna keep it very, very simple today. Let me go ahead and bring our events for
Jeez, look at
next week.
SPY, brother, before you
Yeah,
switch over.
it's cranking here, man. Guys,
So,
this is nuts. This is insane. I mean,
yeah.
wow. All right, we'll see. This is crazy, crazy.
All right. Announcements every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. You've got Carlos. He's doing onboarding and technology. Be sure to check that out, especially for new traders. It is open to all membership categories. And then, of course, on Tuesdays, you've got strategy. Next Tuesday night, you have Brian. He's going to be talking about how he trades the open. So check him out. And then last night, Dr. Reed's webinar on the book, The Best Loser Wins. That will be posted very soon. If it is not already, next Wednesday, you have Kreda, 5 p.m. Note the special time because of her time zone. She's going to be talking about identifying and dealing with your biggest fears in trading. All right. Mentorship is on Thursday at 11 a.m. with John and 8 p.m. with Thor. TradingTerminal.com, where we are building out our one-stop shop for all trading tools we can for retail traders for free. You've got everything from scanners to the replay simulator. You've got the Insider, which is the newest feature Carlos was just showing there. It shows money flow of everything from retail politicians and fund managers. So be sure to check that out. It is free. You can sign up. That way it saves your settings. March 2nd and 3rd, come see us in San Diego. It is our live trading summit, 2-day event we'll be hosting. Florida was an absolute blast, so come check us out in San Diego. You can go to bearbulltraders.com/webinars and you will see the schedule. If you're watching on YouTube and you haven't been in the chat, use the promo code PreMarket34 to get a discount off the intro membership. That is 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the room. And it's a one-time payment, does not recur.
All right, thank you very much, Norm. Okay, guys, let's get to this list here. Anything else that's sticking out, guys, that we might take a look at? AI, yeah, I have AI. I heard they teamed up with AI is on my list here. Again, the last couple of days it's just been cranking, guys. Intraday action, I had it on my list, but I didn't really see how the action was. It looks a little bit choppy here. They just managed to do a nice range, right? And end the day green. But again, I didn't really closely watch that price action with everything else going on. So today already 600,000, trying to push towards the highs here. We'll have to see how the market open does. But man, obviously this thing is extended, but the catalyst on it right now continues to help them get going here. All right, Google trade very well today following Meta report. It can, but my experience has been. My experience has told me otherwise. It can, but my experience has told me otherwise. And again, good trading for me doesn't mean just that it's gonna end the day green, right? If you're depending on how you're trading, that might be your style. But for me, it needs to have good price action, right? Because that helps me determine whether there's a better opportunity for this thing to pop up or not. Take a look at Andrew's recap yesterday, guys, about level 2 price action and entries and exits. Paris also has some really good videos, and notice the type of stocks that they're looking at and the type of price action they're looking at. Google, Shopify, these other tickers rarely, not that they don't, but they rarely give you that type of price action that we're looking for, right? With that volume. So that's one of the biggest things on there. A lot of sideways choppy
Just say,
action.
if you even look at that Google pre-market chart, you've got it going. Look at the chop between about 7 and 8, just up, down, up, down, up. That's pretty normal with Google, and it just moves around like that. And it just, I mean, there's so many wonderful things out there to trade today.
Yeah. And this is what it would look like in the market open too. Like not just pre-market, it would look like
it does that a lot.
Yeah,
That's the concern, and I'm not trying to bag on the pick there. And if it works for you, it works for you. Awesome. It's just, I have not personally ever seen Google trade well.
Yeah. Agree. All right, guys. So let's get to some levels here. Meta, Tesla, AMD, and Amazon. We'll add some more if we have to. Apple looks good. Let's take a look at it. Maybe, yeah. I'm sure it will with the way the market is moving right now. This looks nice. I like the daily too. Again, although I have all of these usual suspects, I'm only going to probably be able to trade one. I think they're all going to be doing the same thing. But Apple's nice. Definitely clean daily here. Nice gap up of almost 2% at the moment. So Yeah, we'll add it to the list. We'll do levels for it. Here's Meta, guys, pushing higher. Jared is long on this thing, so hopefully we can push above the high of the day here. 184.08
He
is the
flipped.
high of the pre-market. He flipped? Huh?
He was short earlier.
Oh, okay. I missed it. So here we
Did you
go,
did
guys.
you flip, Jared? I thought you were short at one point, right? I thought that's what I saw.
Okay.
Yes. You're out.
Okay.
So he's done.
Okay.
He didn't
Gotcha.
flip.
Yeah.
He got stopped out.
All right, here we go then. So here's Meta, guys. 84, high of the pre-market, 80.50, the low of the pre-market. And if we get over here to the left, again, huge gap up, guys. We basically...
That's not the most beautiful chart I've ever seen pre-market, to tell you the truth, with the catalyst like it has and the move that it's had. That's pretty gnarly.
It is, man. It is. I mean, we blew right through this, guys. Just this entire chunk, we capped up right above all of this. So it's a big move for Meta. Let's see towards the downside. Let's get a couple of levels down here and see what we can find. Definitely clear level here, guys. Big one at 172.33, and another big level here as well at 160. So again, you got two levels there below the low of the pre-market and the high of yesterday at like 150 something. And then above this right now, above 184, we're looking at this area here, which again, Meta doesn't have the best daily. So be mindful on that. But here we do have 194.14. It's a good one. And just in case we get explosive here, we do have another level of resistance around 204 as well. So that's Meta today, guys. Kind of stuck within this range right now, looking to break out of 184. There it goes. I would love to see how much upside this thing has left after such a big move yesterday, but this thing is cranking, guys. So careful on trying to play a reversal on this stock today. What is it that Brian says? Don't short strong stocks.
Diddly doodly.
Well, that too.
Okay.
Be very careful on that one today. It's very strong. Here is Tesla. So Tesla right now pushing higher as well. Is the SPY continuing to just rip?
Yeah,
I don't have it up. That's what's happening. Okay, so SPY helping a couple of these.
415 almost.
Wow, helping some of these get going here. Here's Tesla, guys. 198 is the next level I have. Next big level of support and resistance happening right on there. I'm going to mark down the high of the pre-market in just a second, but I do like this area here at 186 because we do have tons of touches in the pre-market right around this area. So I do want to have that there. You do see the breakout just a couple of minutes ago from here, and then we'll get a high of the pre-market in a second once this thing starts pushing higher. So 198 is good. There's a minor area of support and resistance where you got tons of days opening and closing around 192.40. The big one is 198 because at 198 you see the rejection and the change in direction, right, and momentum. But 192 is a minor one. You want to have that on there as well. Could be a decent one also. Towards the bottom, below that, guys, highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. So you're pretty much set there when it comes to Tesla. Again, just an amazing ticker since I can remember now. All right, so AMD, low of the pre-market of 83.10. We will slam a level there, and then let's head over to the left here. And if we go to the left, September timeframe, yeah, we got this one nice level here at 80.25. Tons of days opening, closing right around there, so that is good. And once you do that, looking back at the bigger picture below that, low of yesterday and lows for the last 2 trading days. So again, massive run, guys, yesterday, opening up at 78 after gapping up quite a bit and then running all the way up to 86. And this morning, trying to continue that run. Let's see if we're able to do that here. Above the pre-market highs and the previous day close, right? You see this area here. You got a lot going on there. Let's get a level above that if we can. So we're going to zoom in right in here. Let's see what's the best daily level we can find. We are probably looking up. Don't move on me. Here we go. Yeah, probably right over here, 87.60. Yeah, 87.60. Got a couple of stuff happening there. So that could be a good one if we do decide to push higher here. All right, so that's AMD, guys. Like that as well. Amazon also gapping up. Very choppy morning right now as things try to figure out what's next. But Amazon is such a great intraday trading stock. I expect they're going to do better than this at the market open. High of the pre-market, 110.08. Bottom of the pre-market, 109 right here. So that's good. and then it's just kind of right in this range after a monster day yesterday, and even after hours, man. After hours, they just kept trucking here. So Amazon just doing very, very well. Where did they start from? So they were, yeah, they were at 10. Yesterday they were at 101. All right, so they started below, like around here. So that's a huge run between the market yesterday and also the pre-market. I mean the after hours. So very, very nice. Above the highs of the pre-market. Oh, look at this gap we're closing here. We're closing this gap right here, 105. I didn't realize that, right to 109. So we just ran right through this between after hours yesterday and a little bit this morning. So excellent. So here, let's take a look. We're going to the left. We need another level above 110, above the high of the pre-market. I miss being a bear. Melanie says, I miss being a bear. Guys, I put something on Twitter, link in over there. I want to know your vote. It's the bottom in. It's the bottom in, and are we missing it? The market fools the majority of people the majority of the time, right? It's just what it does. So is the market in? Is the bottom in? I mean, what's happening here? More people are saying no. It's not in. There's still some more pain to come. But I feel like if the majority is leaning one way, the market is going to do the complete opposite. Right? It just seems that way. But who knows, man?
3 weeks ago or so, we were at peak fear, and now everybody's complacent.
Everybody's joyful. Everybody's joyful and hopeful. That's how the market works, man.
That's how the market's got to go up.
Yeah. So let's see what happens. Cycles are fun. Yeah, these cycles are coming very rapid and fast, man. And that's one of the things that Andrew has talked about plenty of times in his videos, if you guys are watching his recaps, and Artie as well. Amazon here, guys, above this 110.08. Let's get some levels in between here. We do have 113. Looks good. Tons of support, tons of resistance. So you got both of that there. And then one more level towards the top in case we're going to have a monstrous day. 117.78 may actually be 118. It's the nice range between here back and forth that we had in this area. So that is looking good for Amazon. Last but not least is going to be Apple. Apple 1.9 million shares traded and just cranking right now, guys. So I love this daily. We're getting a break. We're getting a nice breakout around here. 147.71. We had this breakout already, so I'm going to mark that there because that can become support if we do come down. And if you look at November December timeframe, you can see that area does have a lot that happens there at 150 if we can get there at the moment. So all right, excellent, guys. That's what I have. Meta, Tesla, AMD, Amazon, and Apple. I really like this 5 here, made up of all our usual suspects besides Meta. Meta is usually not on this list. But after such a day yesterday, I'm looking forward to that market open, understanding that there can be some chop there as well. All right, friends, what else do we have? 903, UNG. Jared spoke about UNG earlier today. Again, everyone trying to time the bottom here. So everyone and their mother, he said, is looking to catch a reversal here. Just be careful. Be careful. For swing trading, this could be tough, right? I mean, if you want to invest long term, or not invest, but get in long term, could be a better one. And also, timing the bottom, guys, is very difficult. One of the best advice that you get from people that do swing trade is, you don't need to time the exact bottom, and area is okay. And you could parse in a little bit, buy some, kind of average in, right, into your position. In a good way, right? And then you build a nice position, and you can be in the play if it does reverse, right? So, but be careful. The worst thing you could do is just be careful with margins, right? That is what gets people in trouble. If you go on margin and it goes against you quite a bit, you can get into trouble. So careful how you use margin. Be very, very careful with that. Piton this morning. Piton, man, huge day yesterday. But again, I mean, how many things we had that did well yesterday, although this is a big move. Did they have earnings? What did they have yesterday, Piton? They probably did have earnings. Yeah, they did. I dismissed them.
I'm talking over here, brother, and
I'm
on
I didn't hear
mute.
you.
I didn't realize.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
That's all right. It's not your fault. It's my fault. I'm the moron. Yeah, they had earnings.
Okay, cool. Yes, they had a monster move. Again, I didn't keep them. They normally don't trade that well, but this thing was very, very nice. Today, um, secondary play, maybe this thing does something. 432,000. Maybe we'll see. I'll put it on the secondary list here just to see what's going on. What's going on there?
This Tesla move is ridiculous, man.
It's still going. Yeah, look at that. 189 is it's just Tesla is unreal. This guy, man, maybe he bought his. Did he buy his shares back? He should have bought his shares back at
A
110
discount.
at a discount. Made a boatload. But yeah, he's incredible. All right, guys, we are 9:05. We'll wait for our moderators to throw out their list. I see two already, Susan and Thor. We do have a little time for questions and to look at some other stuff. We have Lucid and we have MU. Let's take a look at Lucid. Yeah, we looked at this earlier. Again, with the news and everything going on, you just got to look out for when news breaks out on this, right? I think you're going to see a lot of sideways action on it and no clear direction because people just want to wait to see if this is happening or not happening, and that's going to determine a lot. Now you're gonna might see some overall market movements, but I think for overall market movements and not actual news on Lucid, you got better tickers to look at. Again, that's just my take on this. When news breaks out, you're gonna have the initial reaction that you're probably not gonna catch, and then after that, we can see if there's gonna be a continuation that we can play into. But for the most part, I don't look at this 1.2 as something that's tradable just yet, right? So that's my take on it. We've seen this happen with other companies when they have that type of news of a possible buyout, and until it gets confirmed or whatever, it can be tough to predict the price action. But you are going to get a lot of volume moving around. Here's MU. MU at the moment, no, not really in play, guys. I mean, it's just the volume is so light, 60,000 on a day like today where everything's above a million, 3.85, 1, 2, 2. I mean, again, everything is not always on volume. You don't need to have that type of activity. But if you look at the pre-market alone, forget about the volume. Just look at the pre-market on many of these. They're just crushing with Tesla trying to get to 189 here. Insane. Daniel, do you set levels pre or post market data included? I do have my pre-market data included. But when I'm setting my actual levels, I'm not, I'm focused more on the daily. We do the pre-market high and pre-market low, and you can actually do those you can do those automatically on your platform. And then I'm just looking at the daily. So the pre-market data is not really gonna affect a lot of that, right? So you're getting different levels. Are you talking about probably moving averages? Or you're talking about the actual levels that I'm setting? Because you shouldn't get different levels on the levels that I am setting up, right? So you're probably talking about the moving averages. Yeah, mine is included. So definitely try that. I feel like the market kicked if we haven't ran.
That's what I was laughing
Melanie,
about.
Melanie is
She's
on
right.
on a roll today,
That's
man.
awesome. I love it.
Melanie is on a roll today. Excellent. Oh, he's probably talking about the camps. Okay, are you talking about the camps? If you are, Daniel, if you're talking about the Camarilla pivot points, then I don't know how those are set up. But we do have some forum posts and videos on how to get those set up. So you can search those there if that is what you're referring to, not the actual levels that I'm putting here or setting. But yeah, man, that's funny. All right, friends, what else we have? Andrew, so yeah, we talked about Google earlier, Andrew F. Again, it's one of these tickers that today might do something, but I think there's better stuff to trade. It can just be very choppy. The price action is very funky. When they had their split, it didn't get better. Like Amazon actually got really nice. Google stayed the same. It just didn't change. It doesn't trade very well. Intraday trade very well. So it's okay. It's all right. We've got a minute or two to discuss it. We have time. In a few minutes, we'll get to our moderators list. We'll wait for a few more. Wait for Brian to throw out his. Let's look at Ford. Ford had a nice run in the last couple of days. So this morning, yeah, million shares traded. Again, for me personally, I'd rather watch something else. This doesn't move a lot for me. So yeah, not a fan of day trade. Watching video, of course, we can put it on the list, and it's one of our usual suspects. I just feel it's gonna move with the overall market. They're having a great daily, like many of these tech companies have. As you know, they've been beat up so much, and they're seeing a nice bounce here, at least from the recent lows at beginning of January, end of December, for many of these, right? So, man, every time I look at Meta's charts, like what's happening here, up 20%. So yeah, so you could watch Nvidia. I like AMD today just because of the massive move they had yesterday. I think this will be a good one. So my eyes on that one for now. But you cannot go wrong with Nvidia is one of our usual suspect that does trade very well, and more often than not, better than Nvidia, much cleaner at least, right? So you can go with either one. Um, all right, guys, we are set here. Anything else that we might have missed? No. All right, let's check the SPY and let's get you guys some moderators tickers here. See what everybody else is watching as the SPY continues to push higher here. Let's bring this over. Guys, if you haven't done so already, as I bring this over, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. We appreciate it very much. It does help out the channel quite a bit. We are sitting at, let's see, what are we sitting at? I lost my number. Oh, 150. So if we could get 50 more, get above 200. And then tomorrow we're going to go for 250. Let's see if we could do that. But 200 today will make us extremely happy. Oh, and also look at this, guys. Tomorrow we have, tonight, guys, tradingterminal.com, we have some really good earnings coming up tonight. Apple, we have Google, Amazon, and Starbucks. I do like Starbucks, as I mentioned earlier. Did Ford report already? Is that what they're
No, it's
moving
tonight.
20
Doesn't
cents?
matter. Still trades terribly.
Yeah, they'll move 20 cents tonight for sure. They'll be at 1460, 1440. They'll move something. But yeah, it's brutal. And then Fridays are usually not great. There's usually not a lot of that stuff that reports great. As we got one more minute, let's take a look at next week. What are we looking forward to next week? We got a couple on here. Activision, it's a hit or miss. It's a hit or miss. VPs could be good. We got a few on here. These the pharmaceutical companies, CVS, pharmacy, CVS, PAF, now what is CVS and Walgreens? Man, they don't trade well. They are
Generally
so bad. Uber is the one that I haven't been able to actually take advantage of. Is a tough one. We'll see. PayPal will be good. PayPal will be good next week.
Nah, not on a Friday night.
Wait, is that on a Friday night? Yeah, it's gonna suck. That's gonna be so bad. Why would they do that? Are they trying to hide some news?
That's kind of what I'm thinking. If that's the legit date,
Yeah, let's confirm that date,
no,
man.
they report next Thursday.
They're hiding something, man. I'm shorting it right now.
No, they don't report Friday. They report next week.
Oh yeah, so it's next week. What? Oh, okay, it's not that
Thursday.
Friday. Okay. Ah, okay. Yeah, the big companies don't report on Friday. Usually they don't.
If they do, you got to be concerned.
If they do, man, short it. Something's wrong. They're trying to hide something while nobody's paying attention. All right, guys, take a look at our moderators list here. We have, starting with Jared, we're looking at Tesla, Meta, UNG, and Boyo natural gas plays there, and the ETFs. Susan will be looking at Tesla and Meta. Thor, overall market, SPY and the Qs, Meta and Tesla. Megan will be looking at Meta, SPY, and Tesla. No IPOs for today's schedule, so we'll skip on those. And for Peter, we'll be looking at AMD, Meta, Tesla, and Apple and Amazon. Carvana, Carvana for memeing fun. So yeah, definitely memeing today. I have them on my list here for entertainment purposes as well. 9 million, up 31%.
Unbelievable.
Oh, man. And short interest at 60 at the moment. Could be lower because I'm sure yesterday.
I don't think it's that high anymore.
Yeah, yesterday.
That's from the 15th of January. Let me check that date because that might be a weekend.
Yeah.
That volume is from the 12th, around the 12th of January.
Yeah. Oh, even further.
Quite old.
Yeah. And since then, you have had some, even the same day, you had some really big moves, including yesterday. So that there's some people, I'm sure, that got out of that very quickly. All right, here's the man, Brian. His list: Meta, Tesla, Carvana, and Boyle. Has a swing trade on that, so very nice. We'd love to hear about it. As he hops on next, he can tell us how that is doing. So, guys, thank you very much. Remember, you can also sign up for the swing trading alerts over at bearbootraders.com, completely free. You get a nice, clean email from Brian on the stuff that he's watching, and attached with a video, a link to a video that he can tell you what's happening on his end. So, with that said, Brian, you can hop on when you're ready, and I'll transition to you.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.
All right, guys, we'll give Brian a minute to get going.
There
he is.
Good morning. I was expecting Norm to disappear, but he's still. Weather down there. No, I didn't have any. I don't trade stocks through earnings. I just don't feel comfortable. I just don't know which direction stocks are gonna go, even if you knew. So Meta continuing to burn through a lot of cash with this metaverse stuff. Yeah, I was in. I've got an Oculus. I was on it 2 nights ago. I don't see any difference from when I was on it a month ago or 2 months ago. Doesn't seem like it's just right now mostly gaming, I guess. But anyway, obviously it's a longer time frame technology. Yeah, exactly. That's sort of what mine is doing right now. I was playing games on it for a while, and doing those exercise things, trying a few of the exercise things, but prefer to go back to the gym, to the yoga studio. All right, so this is what I'm looking at right now. Gapper's up. So something that's going on right now, obviously, in the marketplace is we're getting all this flight back to the crazy stuff. I think Bed Bath and Beyond is on the verge of bankruptcy. I saw a headline a couple days ago about how they could no longer pay their suppliers. So if you're a supplier to Bed Bath and Beyond and you read that, first, if they owe you any money, you're probably not very happy. Secondly, if they're wanting to put some of their stuff in your stores, you're thinking, I don't think so. I'm not going to get my money back. So really heavy short interest. Of course, this is why people are running back to it. About half the shares are shorted. Another one is Beyond Meat. Everybody keeps saying this year sometime they're going to run out of money, which means they'll have to do a secondary. But actually, that's probably right now is a good time for them to do a secondary because their stock price is up significantly. Here's another one that everybody thinks is going to go bankrupt. The stock's moving up again. But really, you know, that's what everybody's looking at, this short interest, and still thinking about GameStop. GNS is careful with GNS. It's one of those ones that all the Reddit crowd are going crazy over. There's a crowd. ETF too. Yeah, when do they report? On the 7th of March, so quite a while. It's certainly kind of putting in a bottom here at this 100 level. Kind of breaking out. So yeah, it could be interesting. All right, let's get back to looking at some stuff here. MSGM, this is that one that everybody's been playing around with. Look at AOS. No volume. Look at this, AMC is up too, or AMC. Tesla's moving up nicely. The same. Yep. Square is pretty, I think has a fairly significant interest in sort of Bitcoin, so it might be trading a little bit with Bitcoin. Did you? You bought some AMC calls? Yeah, it's the meme people. It's interesting. AMD is red. NVIDIA is red. Just barely, but red nonetheless. Energy's down a bit. Penn is actually down quite a bit. Donkey Kong, haven't looked at that stock for a while, but they joined in the chorus of companies laying off. Yeah, Penn's down quite a bit, but there isn't any volume. It hasn't even done 100,000 shares. Yeah, Snap really came back up and got up to 11. CCL. All right, just keeping an eye on the time, people. It's what have we got? Just a little less than 5 minutes. I have to start thinking about setting up my screens here. Yeah, CCL's putting in a bit of a, it's kind of bottoming here. And a massive gap here to fill. UPST. The UPST is up a lot here today. Rolling over a bit. PayPal looks interesting. Might keep an eye on PayPal. Okay, Andrew's late, but he will be here. AMD, let's see, what am I going to do? Tesla, Meta, PayPal.
Hey, what's up, man?
Just getting set up here.
Nice. I thought I'd pop in for a minute. So I heard
Sure.
Andrew's running into the office today or something.
As usual. Yeah. So he'll hop in, grab a
So
few
yeah,
trades.
yeah, make a little money before he gets here.
Sure.
So we've got, like, for me, man, we've spent a lot of effort in the pre-market rallying into the selling range. So I mean, you know, everything getting pretty extended and getting moved up. Our order ladders are starting to kind of slow down a little bit. So I'm really interested. I'm going to kind of be really careful at the open because it's easy to get so excited and just start longing things when everything's rallying like this. But everything basically has moved a lot already in the past, like, let's just say 24 hours has already moved an absolute ton of distance. So we got to be really careful not to get trapped holding the bag here. So SPY, by the way, is right at R3 on the month. Qs is right at R4, R3 area. So, you know, we got to be patient and see how this thing shakes out at the open.
Yeah, I'm going to watch Penn as well. Just kind of keep an eye on that. Yeah, PayPal looks spicy. We'll see what it does at the open. Meta, I'm crazy about. I might put PayPal more front center. Problem with PayPal. Volume's not bad. Penn, I'm just looking at Penn as a rising devil. Tesla's rolling over a bit here as we get closer to the open. All right, 45 seconds.
I'm actually finding AMD kind of interesting right now because with everything else having the big pre-market rally, AMD didn't go anywhere. It just stayed in place the whole time.
Yeah, AMD, NVIDIA's gone a little green right now. But yeah, AMD not moving much. Tesla. All right, guys, here we go. We are 10 seconds to the open. Let's see what happens.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding. Lots of volume on Tesla.
Here comes the volume.
Yeah,
Hey, there's the boss.
Tesla's holding the VWAP.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Tesla swims long. See if you can get a long on Tesla. TQQ 26. Oof. Very nice. Tesla. Amazon is very strong. Amazon 112. Wow.
Yeah, Amazon's ripping here.
Did Amazon have
Going
the
into the
earnings?
earnings. No, it's tonight. Apple and Amazon are tonight.
All right. So Qs are. Oh, Tesla rejected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get some long on Amazon at the 117.67, 1780.
Yeah.
Maybe some long in Amazon. Amazon is very strong
I'm
now. So
I'm short. I'm short Tesla right now.
Tesla looks like a short too. Yeah, 100%.
At 187. Let's see what it does here. I'm just going to cover some here at 78, 185, 78. Diddly doodly.
Add some on Amazon here at 111.12. So stop loss will be below the VWAP. All right, so the market is really dropping, but potentially we can bounce back. Amazon is very strong.
Just covering some more 185. Oh, we got a nice fill, 185.30. I'm almost out of Tesla. I'm thinking it's going to bounce back. Knowing Tesla, I'm out of the rest of it, which was almost out of it, all of it. That last move, that was a nice move. Ooh,